Equatorial Guinea 0, Guinea 1, Egypt 1, DR Congo 1. Now we have Guinea to join Nigeria and Angola alongside DR Congo into the quarterfinals. We have 4 teams set for the quarterfinals of AFCON 2023 tournament hosting in Cote d'Ivoire. Today saw 2 more interesting games played today in the tournament. Of course, the first game of the day was between Equatorial Guinea and Guinea themselves. It was very, very interesting game in the sense that Equatorial Guinea, of course, always relied on the prowess of Emilio Nsue, who has scored 4 goals in this tournament already. So they tried to play a containment football, try to sit back a little bit and find ways to hit Guinea on the break, which did not work out today. Guinea had most of the possession in this game, while Equatorial Guinea, of course, even lost a penalty through their messiah, so to say, Emiliano Nsue. They had a lifeline to equalize the goal deficit today, but of course, Emiliano Nsue uncharacteristically missed the penalty, sending the goalkeeper the other way, but still hit the upright. He tried to make a restitution to that. Of course, this penalty was given in the second half of that game, but somehow Guinea held their own, and they were rewarded for the performance in the game. They were enterprising. They tried to find spaces. We are patient in their build-up. Play the game the way it's supposed to be played, with good pace, skills, enterprising, plotting gaps. They kept pushing, trying to find that goal until the introduction of, I think it was 15 minutes to the end of that game, when Naby Keita was introduced into the game. Obviously, his quality shown. The former Liverpool man came in with some runs, some intelligent passes, and dragged his team forward. And eventually, they were able to find the gap and the opening at the right dot end of that game. In the last minute of the 8th minute added into the game, Guinea found a way to take home the 3 points. A point of correction: initially, Equatorial Guinea was supposed to take a lead, not equalizer, through Nsue, who lost that chance. I think that was 15 minutes to the end of that game. If he had scored that goal, I don't think Guinea would have found a way back. But after losing that penalty, Guinea actually found more motivation to push, and they pushed harder than they were doing all game, with the help and of course the lead of Naby Keita, the former Liverpool guy. He was very, very instrumental to the end of the game for Guinea, with his runs, dribbles, intelligent passes, kept pushing and helped the team. Eventually, the last second of the game, they found a winner. And this was a deserved win altogether. These are the kind of teams you want to see in the tournament, because they played the game the way it's supposed to be played. They used the wings very well. They kept the width of the field very busy, kept trying to find spaces and gaps between very strong and reliable defensive display by Equatorial Guinea, who were 1 man down after a red card was issued to their powerful midfielder the second half into the game. And Guinea tried to make it count. Of course, eventually they did, because they won the game. It was a very interesting game to watch. Equatorial Guinea, I thought, was going to be the dark horse of the tournament, because no one expected them to get this far. But, they should lead the tournament with their head held high, because Nobody expected them in a group that had the powerhouses of the tournament, and they managed to top the group. Nigeria was in that group. Nigeria came second. So I don't think anybody would kind of complain on the achievement. But of course, once you have gone this far in the tournament, you want to continue going, which they did not manage to do today. But credit to Guinea. Guinea was they were too strong for Equatorial Guinea. I must say that. And if you know their history, they have never won a knockout game in AFCON. This is the first time Guinea will win a game in the knockout stages. The last one, they lost 6-0. If you remember. So this is a huge and a very huge achievement for the nation when it comes to AFCON. This is a game they played that was almost a home game for them. Almost everybody in the stadium was cheering for Guinea in this game, and they rewarded the fans and the support they got around the stadium with the goal they scored at the right dot end of the game. And they will now be facing, if you watch the second half, DR Congo, who beat Egypt on penalties. These two teams, Egypt and the DR Congo, played out the fourth draw of the tournament for both of the teams after 90 minutes. They came into this stage of the tournament having drawn 3 of their group stage games, and they went ahead as well to draw the fourth one, being the last 16 game between the two of them, having played out a 1-1 draw after 90 minutes and extra half, and it went into penalties. This one was strange because Egypt played a very high line in this game, camped in the half of DR Congo, especially for the most of first half. And but the interesting thing is they were unable to find any space. There was no incisiveness in their game. They couldn't really create more chances with the position they had. First half, I think it was a 63-37 possession, 63 to Egypt, of course 37 to DR Congo. But still, if there was anybody that was going to score in the first half, it was DR Congo, because they had first of all, in the beginning of the game, I think the first minute or second minute of the game, they had a very glorious chance through their pacey winger. Was that, I can't remember his name now, or Ella, but he ballooned the ball over the post. In fact, it was nowhere close to target. And they had a few ones again in the first half. Of course, they failed to take them. Then, if you remember Wesa, the danger pacing, sometimes he plays as a support striker or a winger for Brentford in EPL. He kept trying to use the gaps behind the Egyptian defense to find space for his team, dragging the team forward. And he proved abortive. But, of course, he still provided the goal that DR Congo scored, through his runs, and created the chance. Though the ball was, for me, it was still going to go inside the net because it was a deflection from the goalkeeper. And one of his teammates ran right on the line and made sure the ball crossed the line. And, of course, DR Congo was ahead 1-0, cruising. Egypt kept pushing, but I didn't think they looked like a team that was going to score until they got what I will call a contentious penalty given to them by the referee after being notified by VAR that he needed to have a second look on the incident, which was an area duel between a defender of DR Congo and Mohamed, the captain of Egypt. For me, that was not a penalty. I don't know what VAR saw, and you will all know once the referee has been called to go look at the screen, most of the time he is going to overturn his decision, his on-field decision, which was what we saw in this one. And this penalty was converted coolly by Mohamed, the captain of Egypt. And of course, if you remember, he eventually missed his own penalty during the penalty shootout. Egypt continued their their high line the second half of the game. They kept trying to find gaps, but like I said, this is uncharacteristic of an Egyptian team. There was they had possession, but there was no incisiveness. There was no penetration. It didn't look like they were going to score. DR Congo was very comfortable. And of course, Egypt had a red card in this game as well, so which made it even easier for DR Congo. And there was really nothing to talk about the Egyptian team. I didn't really see anything interesting that they did today. Rather, they were trying to sneak into the quarterfinals as they have done. They did into the knockout stage as well, without having anything special about them. Mo Salah, we know, who is a charismatic leader, is injured, so he didn't feature in this one. But his teammates, of course, they didn't make him proud. There was nothing to write. There's really no highlight in the Egyptian game today. But I'm going to focus on the DR Congo team. Another team that is I would say is a surprise team of the tournament. If you watch the game they played today, they were very strong in the duels. They tried to move forward. They tried to play play football. There was a commitment in their play. There was they really tried to push and get the win, which they did. For me, they're supposed to have won this game in regular time, and they won the game 1-0 because the only goal that Egypt scored was the goal they scored through the penalty, which for me was not a penalty. I don't know why VAR felt that that incident was worth looking at the game by the referee. Like I said earlier, once this happens, once VAR calls the referee to the screen, you know what the outcome is going to be. Eventually, most of the time, they are going to overturn their on-field decision, which was what happened in that incident. And they gave Egypt a chance to equalize the game, and which they did through their captain, and the game became 1-1. And that was no other goal in the game all through the 90 minutes and extra time. All Egypt did was just to drag the game to extra time and did the same onto the knockout. If you remember, their goalkeeper has a reputation of saving penalties. In the last edition, he was a hero of the team, and I feel that Egypt banked on him this time around, hoping that the goalkeeper will rescue them again as he did the last one. But unfortunately, that did not work out today. I think all the penalties that DR Congo took today, they sent Kabaski to the wrong side, while they had the other side of the post to the penalty that was missed by DR Congo by Masoaku, of course, was a kick that he kicked like a defender that he is, a clearance way over the crossbar. And if you don't know, now who was supposed to be the messiah of the Egyptian team, Kabaski, the goalkeeper, also lost the last penalty, and the goalkeeper of DR Congo converted his, which meant that DR Congo won the game on penalties. Penalty shootout that was very, very interesting because both teams were clinical, and they had to play 8 penalties. And Egypt, like I said, lost with sudden death through their charismatic goalkeeper, who has been their messiah in past tournaments. This time around, send them home with a missed penalty. So that's how it went today. 2 other last 16 games were played. 2 victors still valiant. Egypt is going home. Equatorial Guinea, their onslaught so far, they are punching above their weight so far in the tournament, came to an end today. These 2 teams have to go home. Of course, like I said, DR Congo will now play Guinea in the quarterfinals, alongside Nigeria against Angola in the first quarterfinal game of this tournament. It's been an exciting tournament so far. The continent of Africa has shown the world the quality, the talent, the commitment, the power, the energy, and of course, the fans in the stadium continue to show the world how football is rated in the continent. Many say is a religion in countries like Nigeria, in West Africa. In fact, all the countries in Africa almost see the game as a religion. That we saw today on display. Notwithstanding that the home team is no longer in the tournament, but you still see fans coming out in mass and cheering up these teams, singing and having fun in the stadium. If you have not had time to watch any of these games, I encourage you to try and watch these games live. It's an exciting and very, very fascinating sight to behold what is going on in the stadium, both on the field of play and on the stands with the fans. Like we promised, on this channel, Transit TV, we will continue to bring you highlights and analysis of these games as they come. It's been our promise to you, our viewers. Like and share our content, and get busy. Like we always ask you in the comment section, and let us know what you think or your thoughts about these games. We have enjoyed them. I hope you have enjoyed them as well, because it's been interesting to watch. It's been very, very interesting to watch indeed. If there are clubs around the world who probably did not send out scouts to this tournament, I'm sure they made a very huge mistake. There are so many players that you will want to see in your clubs in Europe and around the world that are on display in this tournament. There are so many players today. I saw some players in Guinea, and of course in DR Congo, who showcase their talent, their energy, their commitment, and their power, which African football is known for. So guys, keep it locked on this channel. We will continue to bring you this analysis as they come. And the gang, the guys, the panelists will be on show in the next coming couple of days to look at all the qualifying teams for the knockout stage. And of course, like we said, we'll review our picks on the possible teams to make it all the way to the finals, know which ones are remaining and the ones that have gone home based on our pick the last time out. If you remember, my man Ugo will be here, Choma will be here, Nimi, I suppose, will be here as well on Tuesday after the rounding up of the last 16 games. We would have known who would be there for the quarterfinals, and we'll be reviewing those teams one after the other. Keep it locked here, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so yet. And that's it for now. Ciao.